Isn't that weird?
I find it odd.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, my kid is so into shoes. I could not believe how many shoes she brought down to college.
Does she have that same thing where
She wears them.
she wears them?
Yeah, she wears them, but she is into the shoes. So, so did you restart the thing?
I did. I restarted it,
I'm going to try it again.
and we're going to reshare it. And I appreciate everyone's being very patient with this, because we want to have as many people listen to Lisa Ann. She expects to come on. If not, well, you know what? We'll do that anyway. We'll start talking about Lisa Ann.
So is she coming on before we do pop culture news?
Well, let's do pop culture news. Let's go ahead and do it, because we want to get people up to date. Yeah, and then and then Pop culture news, where we give you the pop culture.
Oh, yes.
And keep you updated. So, Chris, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Paul. Dolly Parton makes her feelings known on Black Lives Matter.
Finally.
Country singer Dolly Parton is making clear that she supports Black Lives Matter. In a wide-ranging interview with Billboard magazine, the singer addressed various topics, including the protests against racism and police brutality that have swept the United States following the death of George Floyd. While she has not attended the protests, she voiced her support.
That's great, because I know we were all wondering a little bit about
how does Dolly feel?
What does Dolly think about this?
Yeah.
Are you surprised at all about Dolly's feelings?
When I saw the headline of this story, Dolly Parton, expresses her feelings on the. Either I read it or it was written in a certain way to make me think,
oh boy, here we go.
She's against it. Yeah, here we go. But she's actually all for it.
Well, this one's for you, Chris.
Oh, good, thanks.
Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. marked its series finale on ABC. After a few seasons of traveling through space and time, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came back down to Earth, sort of. In a two-part series finale, an old-fashioned affair tinged with nostalgia and clearly aimed at those fans who had been with ABC series since the beginning. The finale saw the group overcome the threat of the Chromocoms as their foes sought to erase S.H.I.E.L.D. from history, operating an alternative timeline. Now, you're a Marvel guy.
I am.
Did you watch the show a lot?
I did not. I've never watched it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was about heroes, but I thought if it's just about like the secret agent guys, I'm not. I don't know. Give me somebody with powers.
Right.
So that's sort of where I am.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. I'm putting the watch party back up.
Thanks.
Okay. Hey, how about this?
Yeah.
This is big
can't
news.
wait.
Sarah Cooper's getting a Netflix special.
Cool.
Netflix announced Wednesday that the woman who found fame turning Trump's comments into viral videos is getting her own special. Sarah Cooper, Everything's Fine, is described by the streaming giant as a variety special full of vignettes dealing with issues of politics, race, gender, class, and other light subjects. And one in which Cooper will be joined by a fantastic array of special guests who participate in short interviews, sketches, and more shenanigans.
Now, Sarah Cooper, she guest hosts Jimmy Kimmel Live.
I saw a little bit of that.
And it was kind of a weird venue for her, but
yeah,
I never knew what her voice sounded like, and she is a doll. She is an absolute doll.
She certainly is. And
yeah.
I saw just a little bit of her monologue, and she said something about, before the pandemic, her last gig was at a pizza place in New Jersey or something. And now she's hosting Kimmel. She gets a Netflix special. She has really taken advantage of this situation and made lemonade out of lemons.
That's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of taking advantage, Selena Gomez announced a viral movie premiere for This Is the Year. Selena Gomez is inviting everyone to a virtual premiere of her upcoming new movie, This Is the Year. Gomez and David Henry star in a film which is Henry's directorial feature debut. Gomez is an executive producer on the film. Due to the pandemic, the film has to have a virtual premiere. The movie is about a guy who goes to a music festival to find the girl of his dreams.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Will you watch
David
it?
Henry.
Yeah.
I got excited thinking it was Phil Henry.
Phil Henry. Yeah. Well, hey. Well, speaking of getting excited, Stephen Colbert, James Corden, and Jimmy Fallon head back to studios with caution.
Oh, good.
Late night is cautiously leaving the house and getting back to work in what is the new normal. Hollywood's been anxious to return to work, and The Late Show with Stephen Colbert and The Late Late Show with James Corden have returned to filming in studio with COVID-19 precautions to protect the hosts and the crew. Colbert recently announced via his Twitter account that he would be returning to the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York City, but not his usual stage. I don't know why a different stage. Maybe distancing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's exciting. Anything that feels like normal but is safe, I'm all for. I need some normalcy.
Yeah. It will be very nice. It will be very nice to see those guys live again.
Yeah.
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 And finally, Noah Centineo shares photos of himself bulking up to play He-Man in Masters of the Universe. It's a remake.
Of course, everything's a remake
Noah is
now.
hitting the gym to prep for his next role. The actor is gearing up and bulking up to play He-Man in the Masters of the Universe remake. Centineo, am I saying that right? Help me with that.
Centineo, maybe? Yeah.
Showed fans just how he's transforming into two photos posted in his Instagram with the cheeky caption, "The question is, should I start training again?"
Oh, Noah Centineo.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah. I mean, what would you say is your favorite Noah Centineo project?
It's probably going to be that story that you just read, because that's the first time I've ever heard of Noah Centineo.
Now, were you into He-Man as a child?
I had some He-Man action figures. I was a little older when they came out, so I just sort of collected them. And then I know there was a cartoon that I never watched, and then apparently there was a movie. I didn't know that.
There was, it was Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I remember about He-Man is that video that came out a few years ago where they're playing "I Had the Time of My Life" and Skeletor and He-Man are doing the dirty. You remember that?
No.
Yeah, that's
Was it
what
like
I
a
remember.
robot chicken type thing?
It may have been. It made its rounds on the internets. It's funny. You should watch it.
I would love to. Now, just our listeners are saying that one of our listeners said duh because of Billie Eilish. This listener also has met Dolly Parton.
Oh.
And she does lip syncing to Trump and Herman. I don't understand.
I think it
what
means
that is.
He-Man, maybe.
Yeah. Her man.
I don't know. I appreciate the input.
Yeah.
And apparently Stan Smith was an anti-Semite. I don't know that that's true.
So that's it, folks. I'm gonna take us out, Chris, because I gotta get this over to Lisa Ann.
Okay. Hey, folks. So that was
According to Zoom.
your pop culture news. I know sometimes we start off a little heavy with the actual news that's going on in the world. So it's fun to kind of lighten things up and take a look at what's happening in pop culture. Let you know what you can look forward to.
So we're getting Lisa Ann here on Zoom. Lisa Ann Fontana. Oh, you know
Yeah.
what we should do is always, as always, we should always and never forget some type of dumb music for another feature.
Oh, that's fun.
So we're going to be interviewing Lisa Fontana, Citizen Cupcakes, the author of Me the People. That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She didn't cast her first vote for anything until she was 35. Here she is. All right. Hi, Lisa Ann. Can you hear us? Lisa Ann, can you hear us? Well, there she is.
I'm here. Good morning. I'm here.
Morning. I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, Lisa Ann, I'm Chris.
Chris, how are you today?
I am well, thank you.
So we do this silly little program where we go through the past week and the next week, and I found your information, and I think it's pretty exciting what you're trying to accomplish. And I was just telling people that you hadn't even voted for the first time until you were 35 years old, and now you do Welcome Party Powerhouse, and you help over 92 million people who, like you, have left out of shame and labeled apathetic. Wow.
Yes, that is me. It used to be hard for me to say that at the beginning, but now that I get the chance to represent the 92 million people and I learned exactly why I didn't vote and exactly what was missing, it's become not only easy, I wear it as a badge of honor. So
Hmm.
I used to cry when people would make fun of me for not voting or say bad things to me, and I always laugh because people meet me and they say, well, "I can't be like you. You're really tough. You're really together." And I'm from Chicago, so we're kind of used to being what I call Chicago tough, which just means we stand up to bullies. We don't care if people try to treat us badly. We just don't allow it.
Hmm.
So when you cut from me taking a homeless man who tried to steal my purse and holding him over the Michigan Avenue Bridge till he apologized because that's what you do,
Egads.
Wow.
to the reverse.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That yeah, and just for the record, I don't recommend it. These are not smart decisions. It's just
Okay.
I don't like bullies. But then when you cut to me in a room when someone finds out I didn't vote, and instead of sticking out their hand to shake it and say, "How can I help? Welcome. What's going on? Let me be of service." People put their finger in your face and say, "Shame on you," and make you feel like this terrible, terrible monster.
Hmm.
And then there's me in my car crying. And I always say that because when people walk into my seminars, there's that feeling, that sense of, I don't know how I didn't get to where everyone else got, but I didn't. And here I am. And I can't talk about it now because once you pass a certain age, and no one really knows when it is, you can't be a non-voter anymore. You can't
Yeah.
be not interested in democracy. And so that's what I work to change because we are not teaching civics anymore in our country. I have a cousin in Norway who I give information to because they teach more to their students about American government than we teach our American students about American government and basic civics. So we
Mhm.
don't teach it almost at all anymore. If you're not going to learn it, how are you going to get involved in it or even be interested in it? And so that's what I do. I take all the upset
Mhm.
out of it and the school out of it, and we put it into this better format so that adults can sit in a room where the three branches of government are explained with three branches to make it less scary and less upsetting, if that makes sense.
So, full disclosure here, we're retired politicians, both of us. I used to be in the Missouri Senate, and Chris was our mayor pro temp of our town here. So we've been involved, and I've always wondered why. What do you think makes people not want to be involved?
Well, I
It's
say
and it's most of the people.
it's
I think we're the weird ones, right,
Oh,
Chris?
for sure.
Yeah.
what I have found in my research over time is that, so let's say you walk into a Starbucks, and I always find
Mm.
it interesting
Okay.
because Starbucks has this down really well. If you walk into a Starbucks and they see you coming and they say to you, "Hey, what do you want to drink?" You say, "I'm not sure. I've never been here before."
Okay.
It's terrific people watching. Make someone do it sometime and sit. Starbucks is so fantastic at this. And I'm not an advocate. I don't drink coffee, but there they are. If you say, "I've never been here before," they will not say to you, "Seriously? You've never been to Starbucks?" They will
Yeah.
say, "Oh, well, welcome. Thanks for coming in and giving us a chance. First things first. Now, do you like cold things, hot things? Are you a tea person? Are you a coffee person? Are you a smoothie person?" They don't let you go. And then they
Hmm.
find you to your signature drink. So before you leave on that very first visit, you feel welcome, wanted, and also special.
Hmm.
And that's why people go back to Starbucks. They love having their own signature drink. They love how they are treated and that they always have this very particular experience. The first experience most of us have with government is when you walk into the DMV to get your driver's license.
Yeah.
That is
Oh,
where,
that's no fun.
right off the bus, right? So
Yeah.
think about the first time you're ever involved. You've never voted with your parents because either they don't vote, or in my case, my parents are wonderful. They voted all the time. They never took us with. It wasn't a conversation. It's just what they did, like the dentist. It's just what you did. If you've not had any experience and your first experience is the DMV, you're never going to vote because
Hmm.
it wants to be a part of that mess. And so that disenfranchisement begins at a pretty small age, and then it just continues to grow. I talk to a lot of students. It's the saddest part of my job, and I love when I get to talk to them. 18 years old, they graduate. They don't understand the process. They fear they can only make a bad decision because look at the mess their own parents made and they know what they're talking about. So why should I even bother? Because they cannot see how their country affects them or how they can affect their country, which I imagine you've seen as politicians.
Sure. What is it that people what we're missing in teaching kids that they need to know, which would make them be more excited about being involved?
Well, for starters, we just don't teach it at all. So, my comparison, I have a whole program that at some point I'll find sponsorship for. But you remember as kids, there's the CREST program for dentists, and there was the fire program put out by the firefighters, which was sponsored by different companies, because that's how seriously we take fire. All of us know in this country as children how to stop, drop, and roll, how to stay low and go. Don't touch it if it's hot. So you do get to a door. We learned that because over and over these people came to us in our schools and practiced, and we got hats and we got coloring books and we learned how not to make the octopus with all the plugs that go in. All of that was done because fires were so detrimental and we wanted them stamped out. Same thing with dentists. The amount of really horrible illness you can save children from. There's a lot of heart conditions and things that come from a lack of cleanliness. So we made brushing your teeth cool, and they come in with free stuff for kids to go home with. We do not discuss politicians. We do not make government important. It's not that we can't learn. You can't tell me that I can know all the Kardashians, but I can't know who runs Congress or even the difference between a senator. When I
Right.
tell people, they don't even know, which was me too, not just the difference between a senator and a representative. They didn't know what they were, what they did, their houses, what is Congress. And so we aren't teaching it at all. We could start by teaching it at all, making it fun, making it interesting. What I do is it's silly and ridiculous. The cover of my book has a smiley face on it because if you go to the bookstore shelves, it's intimidating and it's upsetting. We have enough upset in our lives. If you want people to get excited, I give people a pocket copy of the Constitution. You can write a note inside that it belongs to you, and just handing that to someone and saying, your country's waiting for all the dynamicism that's locked up inside of you, and that's my word for pent up dynamic ability. We want it from you. Let's tap in. No one's talking to American students that way. We're being passed by through 12 years of things that don't matter, when really we should be, when you graduate from high school, you can't become a representative till 25, but best be sure you should know what that job is and how you could take it so you could hold them accountable. So that's
You know,
what's
I think about, I was going to ask you the question, why is it we don't teach it? But man, I think about my own experience. There's a lot of powerful people who do not want people to vote. It just is a good thing for them, so they don't want to teach it. So when you talk through your program, what is the benefit that you tell somebody you're going to get this out of voting? Because saying, oh, if you go vote everything will change, that's a little out there.
we
know?
don't. I actually tell people and politicians, so you might want to cover your ears. I have this argument.
We're recovering
Yeah, I'm
politicians. We
done.
need your help.
Done.
We're done with it.
Welcome in. It's okay to be here. Hi, I'm Lisa. So what I tell people is you do not have to vote. Now, I don't say that because I don't want you to vote. I say it because when the end goal is always cast a vote, cast a vote. Years ago, I had a woman say to me, "You're not helping me if you need me to vote, because what happens when I cast my vote and my guy wins and nothing changes?
Yeah.
What value?" And I said, okay, you're right. And so that's what we cover, is that change happens over time and you can affect so much more change. Yes, I want you to vote and I show you how, but first I want you to get over that fear that that's the only thing you're good for.
Yes, that's good.
There's this opportunity, if we can tap into the dynamicism that's locked up inside of you. What can you do for your family, your community, your state, or your country? And if you come from that as the first goal, then you get to say, well, what do I have? I had a 9-year-old boy say to me, well, I'm only 9. I don't have anything. I said, well, what would you do if you could do something? What do you see in a day that you'd like to fix? And he thought for a minute and he said, I'd like to fix a pothole. And I laughed because that's an odd thing for a 9-year-old to want. But every day on the drive to school, his mom hit that pothole. And he said his mom doesn't swear, but she swears when she hits that pothole. Some are late to school. It's getting bigger. It's a big problem. So I showed him.
Boys that age are going through things too.
Yeah. It was a strange experience.
Yeah.
But how can someone like me do that? I showed him how to call Public Works, how to walk through that, and sure enough, he and his mom got a pothole fixed. Life changing for this kid because now he knows I have value for myself, my family, my community. That's that's where we begin. Understanding how your government functions and how you fit within it. That's what lets you become something truly valuable to your country. It's not just if you feel like casting a vote ends up feeling like you're just a cow, we need
Yeah.
to be milked. That's not what we are. We're all beautiful pieces of amazing ability. If we tap into that instead, then when you go vote, you're going to be better and better as not just an informed voter, understanding how parties are so destructive and how you can work around that, pick the right person, not the right party, and then you know how to involve yourself on your own terms. And that's what we work on. Nobody leaves feeling pressured, feeling bad, or feeling like they are just a number being weighted for their vote.
I think the idea of having people vote is just that you're in it with everyone else. It's just that small gesture. If you don't want to run for office or do anything else, you just go vote. You just realize I'm in it with everyone else, and that's a pretty big benefit in your life, I think.
I think what was your turning point, Lisa Ann? You didn't vote until you were 35. What made you go, okay, I'm gonna get in this, and then
Get all
wow,
up in it.
you really took off with this thing.
It's it was a tough day for me because I spent the whole day coming to my own realization that I was the problem, and no one ever wants to realize that. It was so hard. 12 hours of that's not me. It was the day that we reelected President George Bush. Now, regardless of Republican or Democrat, I didn't want him to win because I knew people who'd suffered through Hurricane Katrina, and I was really angry with how they mistreated people. And one gentleman had said that he had a gun put to his head by our own National Guard because he tried to board a bus. We were fleeing our lands here. He had nothing but his dog, and they wouldn't let him take his dog. And he ended up releasing his dog in the middle of a flood because he'd had a gun put to his head that he wasn't allowed to take his dog on this bus. Now, we've since addressed when it happened the next time. I don't remember the next ones. Was it Rita? They've addressed it. But in the meantime, I thought, what kind of a president allows that kind of behavior to stand? I didn't like his work. And then I thought, well, it must be a Republican thing. And then I thought, no, that's a person. And it's all day long. And I'm thinking, how could anyone reelect this man? And then finally it occurs to me, well, I did not vote. I know, but I don't vote. I'm not a voter. I'm not one of those people want to vote. So it was that long day of realizing, oh my gosh, that's a system I don't understand. And these are the consequences. If you don't want someone in office, or you do, you must raise your hand and get involved. And so I started just a very slow process because I didn't know how to register. I didn't know how to vote. I didn't know any of these things. And so I started a really slow journey to get to the point that when I could vote, I would vote. And then that was I want to say the 2008 election that finally I was able to, and I think I even voted early. I had to learn what voting early meant. There's all these things I had to learn to get to that point. But that's how it happened. And I'm glad that it did. Terrible day for me, but I've had so many people I've been able to help. Even the number of immigrants, when they pass through and get their green card, they don't feel welcome and wanted. They don't feel it until they read my book or come to a seminar. And the amount of hugs that I am privileged to get from people who say, I never really thought. They really want me to do something. I want to help this country. I want to help my country. I didn't know. Now I know. Now I feel jazzed. And so it's a real opportunity for me after no one was there for me, and I'm so privileged to be there for someone else.
Well, so I asked you what the benefit for the voter. What do you think is the benefit for our country if more people vote? Because there's a lot of people would say if they don't even bother to be involved, why should they vote? I'm not one of those people. I think everyone should vote. But what do you tell people is the advantage for our country when more people participate?
Well, it's twofold, and I think the advantage is if it's about me, it's about you, and if it's about you, it's about me, and that's the people, and that means all of us. They can't just be about the people who raised their hands. Particularly, I would say, look at the history. We're not doing that great. Your CEOs have a 932% increase in their salaries, while the people we call necessity voters, or excuse me, workers, are making nothing and risking their lives. That is a country out of balance, and ecosystems out of balance do what they did in the Roman times. They fall.
Absolutely.
That's the one benefit. But the other benefit is, let's take everybody with us. Let's get it. The whole point of education for our country is that when you give 12 years to your government, they're supposed to give you a commonality of actual education. That Common Core does not cover the real commonality, which is we should all be dynamically comprehending how our Congress works so that any one of us could step in and take the job the second that it was needed. Maybe we don't want to, we don't feel qualified, but we should.
We don't want to.
Yeah, no, I think such a terrible mess. If we were following the original rules and going in and just serving our time to our country and then stepping back, if it's always churning, you don't have a lot of space and time for that foothold. What I say too many politicians look for, the top four, and it's money, headlines, votes, and personal power. Now, that's not why we send them to Congress, and that's not everybody, but that is what's gumming up our works. And that's how we can address it. And if you bring everybody in and get everybody kind of shined up on the same page with information, I would say that if there's a house on fire and it's in the middle of two counties and one fire chief comes and the other fire chief comes, they might argue over whose jurisdiction it is. They might argue over how to put out the fire, but they're not arguing that the building is on fire.
Right.
And that the politic has done to it. And I believe everyone coming in to vote will remove that. Or,
Yes.
diminish it.
Well, and then there's such a systematic way that a lot of politicians will use money. They don't really use money to get votes; they use money to suppress votes, and because it helps them win their power. So, what you're saying is exactly correct. Where the more they get involved, the better it is because we're all in this together.
Yes.
So I love what you're doing. I really do. Any other questions, Chris? Or
Now, this is fascinating. I'm curious, what is your book called? Where can people
Yeah,
get it?
I was gonna ask that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll send you to my website. That's the easiest place to find sort of everything. So if you go to Me the People, so it's me, M as in mother, methepeoplevote.com. And when you get there, there's a homepage video and it shows you where to find the book. The book is on Amazon, but it's Amazon keeps things they don't want to sell sort of difficult to find. And for some reason, Easy Democracy is not easy to find on Amazon. But also what I have there is it's called 60 Second Civics, and it takes you to the YouTube channel. And when you get there, it's a whole set of, we're not done with them yet, but we post a new one every few days. 100 answers to the civics questions you might take on a civics test. So watch them and learn them instead of having to learn them. If you just watch them every day, they're 2 minutes, then you can, over the course of 6 months, learn everything you need to know to pass a citizenship test in this country. Not that I would test you. And then lastly, the welcome party. We throw a welcome party online every single Saturday night.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And we'd love to have you. You can throw them yourself, but with COVID right now, I think it's technical for people to do too much with Facebook and Zoom. So we do it. So you can, and it's free. Just hop onto Facebook. You can sign up. We'd love to have you. But if you start at methepeoplevote.com, you can reach us there. You can email us there. We're trying to make it as easy as possible because I want everyone to just, right now, it's time to feel better. It's been a really tough year.
Absolutely.
For sure. What a great service
Yeah.
you're providing here.
And again, it's methepeoplevote.com. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. One last question. And because this is all in the news, are mail-in ballots safe?
Yes. Here's my.
Yay.
They're as safe as in-person voting. We all know we've needed an overhaul for a long time, but a lot of people don't know that every state runs its own voting. And that makes it more challenging. There's no federal mandate, and it's based on, again, like taxes. Better schools are in the richer sides of town. It's hard to have enough money to get these things addressed. But yes, and in fact, we have a 4-part series coming out at the end of this week. Again, you'll find it on YouTube. Just go to our website. It'll redirect you there. We're just going to cover what does it mean to early vote, how to walk into a polling place, if you run into a glitch, how to stand there and hold your ground so that you don't end up voting a provisional ballot, everything we can possibly do to make it easy, and then how to
Right.
mail-in ballot.
Well, and the different terms. One's a mail-in. One's a no reason absentee. One's an absentee. Where in our state you have to get a notary when you have an absentee, so it's real tough. But I'm glad you're covering that topic because that is definitely in the news and definitely something people need to know about. Not later, but right now.
Yeah.
Right this second.
It seems kind of poignant at this
Yes.
this particular
Yeah.
point in time. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Lisa Ann Fontana,
Yeah, that was fun.
Citizen
Great,
Cupcake.
great service.
And any last words, Lisa Ann?
Yes, this last thing. If you're a new person and you're thinking about joining in, if you'll just start at our website or join a party, we would love to have you and make you feel better. You don't have to do too much more than that. I think you will want to after you join us. If you're someone who's in the know, just very quickly, we all tend to say shame on you, and we're honestly trying to be helpful. It doesn't work. So I want to give you this opportunity. The next time someone says to you, I don't vote or I'm not a voter, try asking them why and saying, hey, I'd love to give you a hand with that. I'm curious as to why. And you will see a complete turnaround from what is going on. And then if you can, help them register so that they do feel welcome.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We need to be a little more open.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very good. All right. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Lisa Ann Fontana, Citizen Cupcake at methepeoplevote.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we will be back with more Past Week next week with Chris and Paul.
Yay. Hooray.
Looking at the past 7 days so you don't have to. You could join in on the experiment by calling or texting us at 913-735-0060.
Do you know if your children are up to date with their immunizations? Hey, fellow Detroit parents, I'm Herman Moore, a former professional football player. I'm lucky to have two amazing sons, but I also know that being a parent requires a lot of work. And one of the most important things is helping to keep your children healthy. To help make sure they stay on top of their game, it was important to stay on top of their vaccinations. The CDC recommends a vaccination schedule that helps protect against 14 serious diseases before age 2. There's a lot to consider when it comes to your child's health, but I know getting our children vaccinated with all doses at the scheduled times is one of the most important steps we can take to help protect them from serious illnesses.
Visit vaccinateourchildren.com to find information about CDC recommended vaccinations. This message was brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System in partnership with Pfizer.
Hi, Tom Gully from The Tom Gully Show here. Listen to the show every weekday at 5 p.m. right here on KCTK Radio, personality-driven radio.
Do you see that doggy in the shelter?
Hi, I'm Buddy, the adorable puppy you adopted from the Humane Society.
Meow. I'm Whiskers, a fluffy kitty, just waiting for someone to love me.
When you adopt a pet, we hope your new furry friend will become a cherished member of your family. And as Buddy and Whiskers will tell you, the key to success is following the rules to love by.
Woof, that's right. Please give me food, water, and exercise every day. To stay healthy, I need the same kind of things you need.
Talk to me. I like hearing your voice.
You're my best friend. Please don't stay mad at me or lock me up as punishment. Remember, I'm probably going to live 10 to 15 years, so take care of me when I get old.
One day you'll need someone to take care of you, too.
A message from the Montgomery County Humane Society. Visit www.mchumane.org for the complete rules to love by.
Be your best friend for life.
Welcome back to Past Week Next Week.
Thanks, Paul.
That was a nice conversation with Lisa Ann.
Yeah, boy, she's cheery, she's peppy, she's passionate. What a great thing for a person to do.
Yeah.
I wish I had that much passion around anything
Yeah.
in this life.
You don't, I guess. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. We're back.
Oh, good. All right. The people will be excited.
So make sure you go vote, folks.
Yeah. That's the message. It's important. And I'm going to check out our website at some point.
I think Katrina was in 2000 after the re-election of George Bush.
Oh, so she's got her timeline off a little bit there. Okay.
That's okay. We'll get you updated. I mean, if you actually do seriously, if you actually need some assistance registering to vote or guidance on that, unfortunately, Chris and I have too much experience in that, but we'd be glad to help you with that as well.
Sure.
Wouldn't you say that? Unfortunately, we do.
Yeah, I would say that unfortunately is the word that would be bolded and italicized in that sentence. Yes.
All right, so let's go forward. Let's talk headlines and predictions.
Hey, all
with our
right.
action correspondent Chris and Paul.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and jump in here first. All eyes are on the United States Postal Service ahead of the November election, as reports indicate limitations may hinder mail-in voting. And President Trump says he'd like to block funding for universal absentee voting. Trump said he's against USPS funding Democrats are seeking, noting that without the additional money, they're not equipped to have expanded mail-in voting. After these comments, which many viewed as Trump admitting he's blocking funding to suppress voter turnout, several reports indicated USPS may no longer have the capacity to handle widespread mail-in voting. These same reports also claim that individuals who have ordered X-ray glasses from the back of Boys Life's magazine may have to wait an additional 4 weeks to see the neighbor lady in the nude.
Oh, no.
Paul?
I didn't realize that was happening.
Yeah.
President Trump stoked a false conspiracy theory suggesting that Senator Kamala Harris may not be eligible to be vice president. Trump, who previously repeated baseless claims that former President Barack Obama was not born in the U.S., told reporters that they were very serious questions about her eligibility. Though Harris was born in California and is indisputably a U.S. citizen, in response, the Biden campaign condemned Trump as a leader of the grotesque racial birther movement against Obama, making it unsurprisingly but no less coherent that he is telling false lies.
Oh.
In response to Trump, the ghost of Archie Bunker, George Wallace, and that guy that whipped Kunta Kinte said, "Dude, that's too far, man. You're a freaking racist." Chris?
The guy that beat Kunta Kinte. Wow, that's awesome. Palestinian leaders have condemned an agreement between the United Arab Emirates and Israel to begin the full normalization of relations. One Palestinian leader in the West Bank called the move a blatant violation of understandings that normalization wouldn't occur until an independent Palestinian state was established. The United Arab Emirates has become the third Arab country to establish diplomatic ties with Israel and may soon be followed by Turkistan. Paul?
I hope so.
That's a
I know
Team America
I know they're
callback.
working on that.
Yes.
The Justice Department accused Yale University of discriminating against Asian American and white applicants and threatened to file a lawsuit against the Ivy League school changes its admission policies. The Justice Department launched an investigation 2 years ago after receiving complaints from Asian American students that found that Asian American and white applicants were 1/10 to 1/4 likely to be admitted as black applicants with compared academic records. Yale called the allegation meritless. In a true profile in courage, the Bill Barr Justice Department has stood up for the forgotten people, rich, well-educated white men. Chris?
Truth. Organizers of the 2020 Democratic National Convention announced that the event scheduled to begin next week will feature performances from Leon Bridges, The Chicks, Common, Billie Eilish, Jennifer Hudson, John Legend, and Stephen Stills. While the Democratic Convention was originally set to take place in Wisconsin, it has since been revamped into primarily a virtual event. The scheduled artists are expected to deliver their performances remotely. While there is a wave of excitement in liberal circles, many are dealing with significant existential angst, wondering if The Chicks is too sexist and derogatory a name, and the band should therefore be immediately canceled. Paul?
And finally, Chris.
Thank God.
From our, this is exactly the type of punchline you expect, and I almost regret it.
Okay.
Robert Trump, the youngest brother of President Trump, is hospitalized in New York. The White House confirmed. Robert Trump is previously hospitalized in the spring with serious condition. He is, since I wrote this, has passed.
He has, yeah.
As expected. President Trump has said his brother's illness was a hoax. The mayor of New York is responsible, and he prefers siblings that don't die.
Oh, nice. Nice, yes. I wouldn't expect you to go another direction, but you handled it deftly.
Now, let me ask you, is that bad? I feel bad when anyone passes away, and there is a family that is mourning. But this guy's never shown any type of compassion or empathy towards anyone that died.
Right. And I had read or heard that he was going to go see his brother yesterday.
He did.
But then he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I saw pictures of him on the golf course yesterday.
Oh.
So
Okay,
I don't know.
good.
Everybody
So-
deals with their grief
So
differently.
seeing
I
what
guess.
seeing his brother who passed away has not gotten in the way of his golf game.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Then
yes.
I'm sorry for the Trump family and sorry for his family, Robert's family. I'm not sorry for the president. I stick by that mean joke I just did.
Very good.
And I have a listener telling me that is not bad. So we've had a fun time.
Oh, it's been a wild ride,
We've
huh?
gone through a lot of stuff. We've learned stuff.
We have learned a lot. Yep.
And we had a Team America joke. So
Yes.
Team American Roots joke all in one, folks.
Yeah. Wow.
So what do you got going
the
on?
callbacks.
What do you got going on for next week?
So I'm off on Monday. Originally, that was going to be to move Abby down, but now I can do the chores at the house that I was supposed to do yesterday since we moved Abby
better.
down yesterday. Other than that, it's back to work, and then in 2 weeks, go on a vacation. And my God, I'm chomping at the bit just to see some different four walls. So Jane and I are going to go out to Colorado and just hang out. Got an Airbnb cabin that overlooks.
Whereabouts in Colorado?
Near Colorado Springs. It's not too far from Pikes Peak. Apparently, on the back deck of this cabin is a hot tub that overlooks Pikes Peak, and it's going to be nice just to chill out. So,
Now, my Uncle Mike just got back from Colorado.
oh, how'd it go?
He loved it. My brother Jim is in Colorado right now, and then you're going to Colorado.
Yeah.
This is the time. You know, I know a lot of people who ski and they love the winter sports, but man, this is the time to go to Colorado.
Oh, the weather is
You know?
perfect.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. That's funny. Our good friend Monica is in Colorado
Oh,
right
okay.
now. Kevin McGinnis, your old
Yeah.
dear friend,
Yeah,
is
other
in
good friend, yeah.
Colorado right now. It must be. I think what's happening is people are itching to do something, and you can drive to Colorado and
Yes.
forego the airport and all that stuff, and see something that's just truly gorgeous.
Yeah, and
So-
also it's recommended by one of our listeners that you eat some gummies when you're out there.
Well, that is legal in Colorado, but certainly not here unless it's
Yeah.
medicinal. Also, I don't think my employer is a fan of that sort of thing.
Okay. Also, Coach Roberto does not like those sweets
No,
necessarily.
he does
so,
not. Yes.
So I don't want you to do
Yeah.
that.
So
Sorry.
what's coming up for you, man?
We're gonna have a nice day today. Daughters are coming. It's so wonderful. Whenever you become an empty nester, you find that you don't cook as much.
Uh-huh.
And my wife is the primary cook because she's really good at it. So we eat whatever it is. But when the kids are coming back,
yeah.
oh man, she's got the sauce, the family sauce going on.
Ah, you got the Sunday gravy going.
Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
going on.
Nice.
And I'm just like, hey, if you want to do that, you can. That's up to you. And I'm meanwhile calling the daughters, hey, will you come over? Because we need some sauce.
Oh wow. So today's what? Just like comfort food.
Sit by the pool, have some comfort food,
Oh,
and
nice.
enjoy each other's company. And
That'll be great.
And next week is back to work and good times, and another week of the same thing. So,
Hey, let me ask you something. Speaking of food.
yeah, do you do that?
Yeah. Have you ever been to Slaps Barbecue?
No.
I have read on the Kansas City Eats forums that it's amazing. I think I'm going to go. It's my first day as an empty nester. I think I'm going to go to Slaps today and
Where
try
is
it
it?
out. Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay. Now, do you follow the Let's Eat KC forum on Facebook?
I'm on a couple of different eating forums.
Try Let's Eat. It's called Let's Eat KC.
Okay.
And it's a brand new Facebook page. There's going to be a brand new podcast very soon with your favorite lunch buddies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we're breaking news, and I shouldn't do this, but we're going to produce it even.
Wow. Okay. That's exciting. Let's eat Casey. Now, who's Casey?
It's Casey, short for Kansas City. So focus on this.
Okay. Welcome to Let's Eat KC, a weekly discussion about the latest in good food in the Kansas City area.
Hey,
that guy sounds familiar. We will guide you about area new and old restaurants that you can enjoy and much more. Now, here's your favorite lunch buddies.
So we'll just kind of talk about what's going on in the night scene. Not really the night scene, but like we're going to have a bartender's corner. We're going to have a review, and I do have a little bit of a.
That was my voice, right?
Yeah.
I have no recollection of
Yeah,
recording
you did that one time.
How long ago did I do that?
A while ago. It's been
Okay.
in planning and pre-production. Here we do have a clip from it, our upcoming episode.
Oh, good. I'm excited. Oh, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, is that you making fun of Derek Wolf? That is what that reminds me of.
So hopefully you can join us. It's going to be every Monday, every other Monday actually, at the Lakewood Locals, where we're going to record it. And you're welcome to come by and enjoy.
Oh God, I love food and I love the Lakewood Local. Why wouldn't I come by?
There you go. Now the other thing that's coming up this week is the Democratic Convention. I'm going to try to watch some of it.
Oh wow!
It'll be. You know what? Here's what I hate political speeches is when they go to the crowd. And they just say something like, and Trump's hair, and then they stop for a clap line. So I'm really looking forward to these speeches when they're doing it virtually.
When they won't have, it's going to be awkward for you've seen it with like the Sarah Cooper and people doing their comedy or their monologues with no audience to react to. Yeah,
But I liked when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, when she was announced, I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
there was no big crowd to try to play to.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what this convention is. But to stop the show, stop the show. I thought we'd play the official song of the Democratic Party.
Oh, well, that's appropriate.
I don't happen to have a video of it, just the song, but
okay.
Go ahead and close us out, Chris.
All right. Yeah. Let me bring that up. Hey, thanks for listening to Past Week Next Week with Chris and Paul. Since you loved the program, please rate and review the podcast on your favorite podcast distributor. We'd love to hear from you. So contact us at 913-735-0060 or at pastweeknextweek@gmail.com and join the Past Week Next Week Facebook page. Also, make sure you listen to all the great programs on KCTK Radio, Delmarva Talk Radio, Awakens Radio, and Good Talk Radio. Plus, support our sponsor by picking up some Ranger Rob pet poopy bags. On behalf of Paul, I'm Chris saying goodbye.
And on behalf of Chris, I'm Paul saying here is Danielson's, it's a band.
Okay.
Their rendition of Happy Days Are Here Again. And hopefully this will get you motivated for next week.
Danielson's, like Mr. Miyagi? Danielson?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is an interesting rendition.
Yeah. So FDR was so positive, he made the song the Democratic Party song.
Oh, I did not know he was responsible for that. It is a feel-good song.
Good.
I dare you to sit still listening to this.
Okay.
Dang it, you're doing it.
This is the most modern version I could find of it.
What year is this from? 36?
It sounds that way, but it's 2000 something.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of Danielson, but they're doing a nice job here.
Yeah.
Happy days are here again.
Wow.
What's the official song of the Republican Party? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know if they have one. I know that Trump has gone through a lot of this where he's tried to have a song and the artist
And the
told him
artist's
to
like,
stop.
yeah, stop it, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every convention they have a song.
Yeah.
Clinton did it best with the Fleetwood Mac, but we're not doing Fleetwood Mac anymore on this show.
No.
We're done with those guys.
Yeah.
And
what are we, the Fleetwood Mac Fan Club podcast?
did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the whistling. It's nice.
Thank you. A lot of people say that LC's is the best barbecue.
Well,
and a lot of people say that Char Bar is the best barbecue. But you're going to go to slaps.
Yeah. I think LC's has the best burn ends I've had anywhere. Very good. Char Bar's good all the way around, but for me it's a little too fancy. Like I can't compare a Char Bar to an LC's.
Now I'm just a Arthur Bryant's fan.
Yeah.
And I watched this new program called Ted Lasso with Jason Sudeikis. He's a coach and he coaches soccer in England.
Okay.
And they send him a care package and he brings out the Arthur Bryant's sauce, talking about how much he likes it. So Sudeikis is representing Kansas City.
Very nice. I'll tell you, you know what's really good at Char Bar? The pork rinds. Oh, so good.
The pork rinds?
Yeah. Get them as an appetizer next time you go.
The pork rinds?
Oh, they're so good.
Isn't pork rind something you get like in the gas station?
They are, but you can also get them at the Char Bar. Fresh made. They come out still crackling and popping with their barbecue seasoning on. They are so good.
Okay, we better stop. We're getting into let's eat KC territory.
Yeah, sorry, lunch buddies.
This has been a KCTK production, produced by Paul Lavoda. If you want more information about this content, then you have some real weirdness going on. You can always check out KCTK Radio on Facebook. Listen to live programs at kctkradio.com. Yes, and that is on the World Wide Web. Thank you.